Hey, good morning, everybody. Here we are Tuesday morning, another opportunity to get our day kicked off with another dose of God's Word. And what I want to look at about this morning is a passage or a larger context that really causes us to self-reflect upon ourselves. In Matthew 25, Jesus tells a number of parables here. The one about the five foolish virgins and the five wise ones. He talks about the parable of the talents, and he goes in and talk about this great judgment scene and so forth. But I want us to notice something and cause us to really reflect upon ourselves. Is in the parable of the virgins. In Matthew chapter 25, it says in verse 2, it says, "Now 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps." Now he goes on and talks about how they were expecting and looking for the bridegroom to come. And the call comes, the bridegroom is on the way. And so the 5 foolish virgins said to the 5 wise, "Hey, we don't have enough oil. Can you give us some of yours?" And they said, "No, unless we might run out, then we might not have enough, but go to the market and buy some." But here's the thing. It's at nighttime. The markets are closed. They didn't have 24-hour Walmarts, back in that day. So the markets were closed. And so here they are now, they're stuck. Now, what's the point that Jesus is making here? I believe the point that Jesus is making is that these 5 foolish virgins were trying to do just enough to get by. Now, I'm not saying we're saved by works and of merit and all that. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But the Bible does tell us in James, the 2nd chapter, is that Abraham's faith was justified by his works. Now, what does that mean? Was he going down through some checklist? No. What that means is that everything he did was about and for and according to God. And so here we have this idea, really, a lot of times in the religious world, is that as long as we've got John 3:16, we're good to go. As long as someone is a believer, we're good to go. But I think that we find within this parable and the one with the talents, you recall the 1 talent man, Jesus, the landowner had come back. Master had come back to settle up and see how things had went. And 1 talent man comes just a little bit further down in Matthew chapter 25 and says, "I knew that you were a shrewd man or a skewer man or a stir man. And so I was afraid and I went and hid your talent in the ground." Well, how'd that work out for him? Well, Jesus said, "You should have took my money and put it in the bank and I could have got it back plus interest." I believe the point that Jesus is making in both of these parables is this, is that if we say that we are a Christian, then we need to be working and serving in his vineyard, not just merely acknowledging him, not just confessing him, not just simply acknowledging that we believe in Jesus Christ. I think that's the attitude of the 5 foolish and the 1 talent man, is that they were just they weren't really living. They were just kind of going through the motions, so to speak. That they were under the impression, like so many, we've got grace by the Master, we've got mercy, I believe that he is, and all these other types of things. So he's going to be happy with me just because I acknowledge that. I think we see in these 2 parables here with the virgins and with the talents, is that it was those that were diligently serving and worshiping and doing the things according to God. Their life was about God, not themselves, not doing just enough kind of to squeak by, not go hoping on a prayer, so to speak. But there's a difference of attitudes between these 2. If our life is just merely, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go fishing, I'm going to ride motorcycles, I'm just going to kind of do what I'm going to do. Come Sunday and Wednesday for Bible study, and but I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus Christ. Well, that's kind of the attitude of what we find here with the 5 foolish virgin and with the 1 talent man. It was, remember, even within the talents, You had the one with 5 talents and you had the man with 2 talents. They went out and they actually did something. They were focused in on doing the things of their master, and they were rewarded. The other wasn't. He acknowledged him, he confessed him, but he didn't do anything beyond that. And so he was punished, just like these 5 foolish were. You get down a little bit further, said, I never knew you. They come knocking on the door. He said, well, who are you? Well, we've eaten with it. I don't know who you are. No idea who you are. You see, so if we want to get to heaven, it's going to have to go way beyond just a simple acknowledging of who Jesus is. It's going to come down to not just that, but also coupled with living for him and serving for him. And that everything I do is based upon him. And I'm never putting myself and my enjoyments in front of his worship and his service. I'm going to leave you with that. There's your dose of God's word. Am I foolish or am I wise? Self-reflection in these parables. Hey, hope you have a great day. Lord willing, we'll get back tomorrow. We'll get us another dose of God's word. Until then, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you.